I'm Martin Smith. I'm Executive Chef at the University of Manchester. I've been here for nearly 7 years. We generally serve between 4,000 and 5,000 meals per day. I use Tilda rice for a lot of our, well, for all our dishes, because it always yields, it's always consistent, and basically it always does what it says it's going to do. Today I'm going to produce a basmati rice, feta and squash salad. It's a nice seasonal dish. It's very simple. We can do it for a lot of numbers very quickly. It covers a lot of bases with vegetarian, so off we'll go. So now I'm going to get some water up to boil. We'll get the rice on first. While I'm waiting for that water to boil, I'm going to start to peel and chop the squash. It's quite a hard skin, takes a bit of peeling. Obviously it's full of seed, so all I'm going to do is clean that out with a spoon. My water's just coming up to boil, so I'll get the rice on in a second. Okay, so now we're going to get the rice on. So I'm actually going to put some stock powder in the water just to give it a bit more base to the finished dish. This is just vegetable. The water's just coming to the boil now, so I'm just going to add some rice. Okay, so we're just going to give that a bit of a stir just before it comes up to the boil, just to get the water through it. While we're waiting for that to come to the boil, we'll finish the squash off. And while I'm chopping this, the rice is starting to boil, so I'm just going to turn that down a touch, and we'll just let that tick along. I've preheated the oven to 200 degrees to get the squash into. So they're going to go straight into a tray. I'm going to drizzle them slightly with a little bit of olive oil. We're going to season those, some cracked black pepper, a little bit of salt. We're going to roll them now just into the oil, just to coat them. That's all I've done, and that's going to go into the oven. And the oven's been preheated to 160 at the moment. I'm just going to turn that up. And we'll get that up to 200 for a couple of minutes. Just going to get that pan warming up slightly. I'm going to peel and finely dice an onion. Okay, the pan's starting to warm up a little bit, so I'm going to get a bit more heat under there. Some more olive oil into the pan. I'm going to add some garlic to this. We'll just leave that to cook nice and gently. Okay, I'm going to take the squash is ready now. I'm going to take that out of the oven. See, it's got a nice glazed look to it. It's got the natural sugars have started to caramelise in there. I'm now going to take the squash straight from the tray, straight into the pan. Put some heat back through that now. It smells really fabulous. I'm just going to check this rice is ready. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, it's fabulous. No lumps, no nothing. Does exactly what it says all the time. Usual Tilda. Okay, I'm now going to drain the rice, get the stock off it. What I'm going to do now is add the rice to the dish. And just fold that in. The rice is taking on all the flavours now of the onions. It's looking pretty fabulous. Okay, I'll return that to the heat for a second. I'm just going to add some feta to that. Nice crumbly feta, doesn't take much chopping at all. Quite a rough dice. As that starts to melt and fold in, just remove it from the heat. We'll just fold that through. Some nice fresh basil. Going to add some basil to the top. The cheese is starting to break down. So we're just going to spoon that onto the plate. Finish that with a little bit of picked basil, and there's the completed dish.